Good morning, Ohana Farms. It's me, Chris, the trucking gamer. I'm here with you from my cab of my truck, my pickup. It's basically home time. It's time to pack up and say goodbye to Tall Pines ATV Resort. Sadly, I mean, it's really nice out here. The other day I mentioned that we were up near the Alleghenies, and I actually found out that this is basically them. That the towns around here, they basically promote that they're in the gateway of the Alleghenies. So basically, if you think about Allegheny Mountains and you look up some of that trajectory and things like that, and you can figure out basically what kind of elevations we were in and all kinds of stuff like that. We were around really tall pines. I mean, obviously, the trails here they're great. There's lots of times where you can wind out your ATV 60, 70 kilometers an hour. No problem. Probably even faster if you don't have somebody on the back. Mine's a 2-up, so I almost always have someone on the back. So you can definitely have a good time out here. I'd say that we're definitely coming back at some point. We had a lot of fun. So it's maybe even just bring out me and the wife one time. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, so I've been teasing you guys for a couple of days to tell you all about what's been going on and all the just pure awesomeness that is Harris Hard. I mean, that's what we have a hashtag. I might actually get it put onto my body as a tattoo. Harris Hard. Everything we do is the hard way. We set out with the best of intentions, and it always ends up being extremely hard. Yesterday, when I was trying to remember if we had missed anything on Friday when we left, when I lost the keys for the ATV and had to have another one made, it cost us $100. I actually ended up not telling you guys that we misplaced my son's permanent resident card for Canada because he was actually born in the United States. But after being a month old, he came home to Canada. That's where he's always lived. In his mind, he's Canadian. In my mind, he's Canadian. In Canada's mind, it doesn't matter where you're born. If one of your parents is Canadian, you could be born in Ethiopia, Africa, Egypt, whatever, and you're still going to be Canadian in their mind. So, anyways, it's just a technicality, but you do have to have some sort of ID and birth certificate to cross the border. Well, his birth certificate was with his permanent resident card because back in the winter, me and him went to a game in Buffalo, a hockey game, to watch the Leafs and the Sabres play. And I gave my wife back the card, and, you know, that was like 6-8 months ago. And somehow it didn't get put with all the other important information. And we thought we had it until the last minute. And when we did our last minute check, we couldn't find it. So that was another hour lost. So not only did we lose an hour looking for that, we lost an hour looking for my keys. Then we lost an hour getting a key made. That was all on Friday. Then on Saturday, we wake up, you know, we set up in the night. Like I said, Friday night, we wake up, we have a good time. In the morning, we have breakfast. We go out to this little diner called Modern Diner down in this nearest town to us, Waysville, I think it's called, or Willisville. And it was a really nice place. It was like a Denny's, but like really small, and kind of like in this building. When you see it, you're like, how could they even basically serve food in there, really? I mean, it's made out of wood, and it's not a brick and mortar type place or anything like that. And then we go in, and the food is awesome. And the people were even better, and so they deserve all the high-end reviews that they get on Google as well. We definitely didn't know where we were going to go. There was no major food chain, so we Googled where we wanted to eat, and that place got good reviews, so we went. We enjoyed ourselves. We come back, we go out, get on the ATVs like right away. We take off. We head up to the trail. Minute my son gets on his bike. We did a tune-up on the bike. The engine was tuned up. The idle was turned up a little too high. He thinks we're ready to go. We're not ready to go. He lets off the clutch too fast. Bike takes off. Hits the fire pit. Right, whatever. Right. So that's okay. We pick up the bike. We decide that we're gonna go. We go all the way down to. We go down to the barn. We get all our last minute stuff. Then we decided to hit the trail. We hit the trail. We're on the trail maybe like 15 or 20 minutes tops. And it takes about an hour to do that half if you're not in a big rush to do it. Even in a big rush, it's not very much. It's not very, very fast. So, Robbie, my son, he's leading us, and I'm in the middle, and my daughter's behind us, so I can see Robbie all the time because he's new on his dirt bike. And some of these trails are aggressive, so he's going through the trails. Everything's good. He's we stopped once. He's like, "Oh, Dad, this is awesome, great, cool." We say, "Okay, look, we're getting in the forest. It's getting harder to see you because it does hairpin turns and this and that. If you get anywhere and you have to make a decision, always go for the easy one because there's 3 levels of difficulty here." Okay, no problem. So what happens? We're driving, we get separated. Now, we stop our ATVs, we're yelling for him, we can't see him, he can't hear us, we can't hear his bike anymore, nothing. So we get to an intersection, we decide, okay, let's go towards the easy side, go down the easy side, we're driving some more, you stop, yell for him, can't find him. Get to another intersection, there's a difficulty of easy or intermediate, but we did say to go easy, but he's 11, we tell him things all the time, and he doesn't always do them exactly the way we say, just like every kid. So I look on the ground, and what do I see? Dirt bike tracks. Well, there's dirt bikes out here everywhere. I mean, there's ATVs and dirt bikes, but they look fresh tracks. If we would have went left, we would have found them. We went right. It took us over an hour to get out of the forest, and by the time we were fed up, and we were we made a plan. We were so scared that all we were doing is trying to find him. Like literally everywhere we went, we stopped, we yelled. We were going through the trails at like 100. I was risking everybody to try to get out of there. We had our cell phones for safety purposes, but we never thought about checking them ever, and we never thought about calling 911. We did think about calling 911, but we didn't think about it until we had a plan. We were like, when we get out on the trail, if we go by the barn and he's not at the barn, we'll call 911 because now he could be anywhere in the forest. We'll tell the people at the barn he's missing because they know the forest really well. They got people who retrieve you, and they got enough staff to go down all the side trails, and we'll find him. Don't worry, right? And plus, we'll be back on the trail, and we'll go the opposite way of when we've got the choice of which way to go, left or right, we'll go the opposite way, and process of elimination, we should find him. Right. And, so our thought process isn't, call 911 right away. We're going to find our kid because it's a big area when you consider all the mileage, but there's ways to get out of the trail and make them shorter and things like that. It's not like, you're stuck on this 75-mile trail that you can't get off of at different times. Right. So, and the 75 miles also includes all these little side loops and stuff, right? So we were just on the main one and back off, and we were trying to find him. So we didn't find him, and we ended up getting to the barn like our plan was, and we pulled over to the barn, and there he was taken care of, and the staff here was awesome. They gave him fries, and they gave him popsicles, they gave him a drink, they offered him a drink, another drink on top of that. I mean, they were great. But overall, it's on us that happened. I mean, at the end of the day, we thought we were doing the right thing. Put the kid in the front that's most likely to get hurt or fall. And, my wife isn't the best driver on her ATV. Neither is my son or my daughter. So I'm worried about them behind us. So we keep slowing down. He didn't think about slowing down at all. I mean, he was having a great time, and he was, handling his bike great. So he just kept riding. Needless to say, when we found him, he didn't just get lost. He did wreck his bike. He got a good scratch on his knee. He got a burn from his either road rash or the muffler on his knee. He's got a good bruise on his leg. He hit his shoulder on a sign, gas pipe marker for underground gas pipes. So yeah, it was scary for us all. It was scary for him, I'm sure, way more than it was for us. But at the end of the day, you learn a valuable lesson about, communication and trusting each other. That, if we would have just went left down the easy path instead of the intermediate path, instead of putting more into what was there and just saying, you know what, he probably listened and stayed on the easy pass, all of that. I think it'll be fine. Let's just go. You know, we would have found him right after he wrecked. Like, we were 5 minutes from where he wrecked. Like, we were 3 minutes away. He just couldn't hear us yelling for him. We couldn't hear him yelling for help. So yeah, so we found him. We went riding. We went riding after that. We went on the obstacle course. Everything was great. We had a great time. I got stuck in my ATV. The best part of the story that has nothing to do with that. That was the most major thing that obviously happened yesterday. But when we left I told you guys that we were at the beginning that we were 1,000 miles or 1,000 yards from the obstacle course here. It's right behind our campsite. There's like 3 rows of pine trees separating us from the obstacle course. That's how close we are. I pulled out here onto the road, made a right-hand turn, got into that obstacle course, right? Went through a pile of mud right away, like instantly. ATV off the trailer, clean. First thing I did, mud puddle, right? Just killed it. Mud over to my head, awesome, right? Do a U-turn, another mud puddle right beside that one. No one's going through that one. I wonder why. So I always blast through it, right? Put it in. It's in 4-wheel drive and everything. Me and my wife were trying our best to get through there. Moving along, what do? We bury it all the way down to the muffler, basically. And it's stuck. And it is stuck. You cannot move at all. So, okay, well, you know, we're just going to winch it out. No big deal, right? Jump out. Wife jumps off. She's like 5'1" or 5'2". Like, she jumps off. All you can see is shoulders. Literally. That's how deep the mud is. She's like, I can't move. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so I jumped down to try to help her get the winch out. You know, I'll get started on the workup process. It's up to my belly button, and the mud, at least I can feel the mud up to my pelvis, like below my pelvis, basically, the top end of my thighs area. And I go to move, and I'm like full on, like as hard as I can, trying to lift my leg out of the mud to take one step. And that's how deep this mud was. And my ATV doesn't have Mozillas on it or snorkel. It's just it has the stock tires that it comes with, the Terracross tires and stuff. And we're in there good, man. And so within 5 minutes, not even this other ATVer comes around. He's like, you know, let me help you. He hooks up to us. We're trying to move it. We finally get the ATV moving a little bit, not much. He gets stuck. So then I go and I get Bouncing Betty, which is the 570 Ace. I go around and I hook up to him. Now there's 3 of us, 3 winches. My wife's trying to drive MC out of the mud. He's trying to pull backwards. I'm trying to pull backwards. And at the same time, we're all condensing our winches, trying to pull out one ATV. Can't. The ATV in front of me, the Honda, gets stuck. MC is still stuck in the mud. Somebody comes along with a 4x4 seater. He hooks up his winch. Now we got 4 winches, 4 machines. We start pulling. Doesn't even budge. Doesn't budge it at all. Right? All right. What are we going to do? So we unhook everything. We get everybody unsituated. I start backing up Bouncing Betty. I get turned around. My feet, like my shoes I have size 12 feet anyway. My shoes had this much mud around them, each one of them. I could not walk. I was falling on my face. Everything looked like I was on ice. Like it looked like I was on Bambi on ice. I couldn't stand on my feet. So finally I take my shoes off and I'm walking around. Only to realize that the reason why my toe hurts so bad is I ripped a nail off. I ripped the nail right off of my toe completely. And all that there is skin. And then it still hurts today. This is the 3rd day. So while I'm doing that, there's mud all over Bouncing Betty inside. And I put it in drive to try to move it away so that the other ATV can get out of the way. Because we're going to try and pull this MC out, the Outlander out with a truck. So I go to gas on it, and my foot slips off the brake because I was, using the brake. We were in a really tight area. I was like back up, forward, back, trying to do a turn to get you know, facing the right way, because I didn't want to back up into that stuff that I'm trying to pull my other ATV out of. So
she doesn't have power steering.
And it doesn't have power steering. So I'm like, you know, trying to, you know, just these little turns. So finally I get to go straight, and I go to hit the gas, and my foot slips off the brake, and I mash the gas, and the ATV's just right, and I'm like trying to get it back under control. Next thing I know, I'm in a different mud puddle, high centered, can't get out, stuck again. Who's there? Everybody in the ATV park is there, including the guy taking photos. So we made the website.
I did too.
5 times. 3 of those times, sorry, was being in the mud, getting stuck. The other couple times was us riding some awesome pictures. David, you take great pictures, man. I hope that you're appreciated by Tall Pines, because those pictures were fantastic. But overall, it sucked that you were there at that time. And go figure. But so we hook up a Sierra to the back, right? And we're like, let's go backwards instead of forwards, because you're stuck forwards, man. There ain't no way. Like, and the gap that we were trying to cover with a tow winch was, or a tow rope and tow strap, was really far. So what we decided to do was go backwards. So he pulls us backwards, and of course it's a truck, it's a 4x4, everything's going great. He pulls us out. We get to a point where we're at a bank, right? Well, the bank wasn't one that was like this. It was one that was like that, almost, to get out. So when we got up to it, we were so buried. We were like, the tires, you still couldn't see the tires at the bank. That's how deep the mud was. We pushed the mud up all the way, and all you could see was this big mud mound. So he goes to pull us up, and we stop him, because basically if he would have kept pulling us, he would have ripped the axles right off of MC, because he's pulling with a truck. And because you know, we would be going like this up against the bank instead of like this, right? But that time we had gotten turned from this to that, and we were facing a path of less resistance, we thought, right? So we ended up putting 3 tow hitches together and my strap, throwing it over 3 different puddles of mud to another truck on the other side that actually pulled us out no problem. And of course I put it in gear, and we finally got out. It was a big celebration. You couldn't tell what color our ATV was at all. Overall, getting stuck in your ATV is not what you want to do, but it's not the worst thing ever. When it happens, you're having a good time trying to get it out. You know, to me, if you don't ever get stuck, you're not really using your ATV. Like, you're basically using it as a car, right? Like, you want to challenge yourself. You want to see what you can and can't do. And, you know, we got stuck. There's the end of, you know, no big deal. Nothing happened. MC was running fine. We ran it for 2 more days. We had a great time with it. Yesterday was fantastic. We stayed out of a lot of mud yesterday, just kind of like some small puddles we could see the bottom of, just because there's a lot of mud still on MC from the first time. And it was bog mud. It wasn't just mud. It was like bog. So, we wanted to give it time to dry out and get it cleaned off the best we can. And, so speaking of that, this video's gone on almost 20 minutes. I like to go with the short videos, guys, but yeah, so that's basically how our vacation's gone. So it's been a great vacation. We've had fun. Everybody survived and everything like that, but it has been Harris hard, which is great, because then it wouldn't be our vacation. So we're hoping that you guys will stick with us and pray and send us all those good vibes that we make it back home safe with no more issues. And the next time you see me, it might be from my computer room with all my stuff set up. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Playing some Farm Sim or some ATS, you know, probably some ATS, get that wheel out. That'd be fantastic. So I can't wait to see you guys. Again, my family is very thankful that you guys have handled everything on Discord and our gaming community perfectly. This is a perfect opportunity to thank the farmers out there. One more time, like the farmers here at Kent Farms. Thank you very, very much for everything that you do here. Thank you for letting us use your property that you can't farm, to have fun and to let loose and to kill some adrenaline and be men and be boys and get stuck in mud and get dirty and camp and rough it. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for the food you serve straight from other farms. Thanks for bringing your farm dogs out to the barn. Thanks for not worrying about you know, just being who you are. Thanks for the leniency when we got separated from our kids. You know, thank you. I know that there's people out there that disobey the rules. They ruin your cornfields. They go into your hay fields. You lose some of your crop. I know that you guys told us that you're beef cattle farmers. So I hope that you guys, you know, are blessed this year with just an abundance of beef that you can sell, a surprising amount, just because of your generosity. And every other farmer out there, this is also a thank you to you. As you know, Ohana Farms was started as a tribute channel to thank farmers and truckers like myself for all the hard work that they do and the things that they never get thanked for. So Kent Farms, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So we loved it here, and we're going to be back. And if you have not been to Tall Pines ATV Resort, look it up. If you have the opportunity to buy Kent craft beer, do that as well. Help these guys out, support them. Help us out by continuing to watch the channel, giving us a like on this video, hit the sub button, set your notifications, and stay tuned for more gaming. If you're here for simulation gaming and you just happen to be watching a vlog, I know there's lots of them recently on this channel. That's what we're doing here. Vlogging is a side experiment. So we play ATS, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, and Farming Simulator 19. Those are the 3 games our community supports right now. And we're looking for people all the time to join that. The link is in the description below to do that. You can join our Discord as a viewer, just chat with us, figure out what's up, say hi, all kinds of stuff. You can also join as a gamer. So if you're one of those that plays one of those games, come join us, come help us do good things, help us feed the hungry people out there, and basically turn us from virtual farmers to real farmers that way, where we're, you know, it's a 3-step process. We go from virtual farmers to buying real food from the real farmers to giving it. And that's the mission. Overall, we do other side missions as well, missionary type stuff. We're a charity and giving channel. And we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for everything. Follow us on Twitch also, twitch.tv/Ohana Farms for our live streams. And until next time, it's me, the Trucking Gamer with Ohana Farms.